Nexus Point by Andrew Hawnt. The display surrounding Thomas blazed with colour before flickering into darkness, but the cramped bridge of Echo 5 was still awash with light from what was happening beyond its bulkheads. Trapped, Thomas could only watch as the massive battlecruiser Pyranus Blade exploded around his ship. The reactors had ruptured and were leaking strange energies into other damaged machinery throughout the gargantuan vessel, which in turn caused more explosions to erupt and be swallowed by the vacuum that had replaced the artificial gravity. "Thomas," came the wavering voice at the other end of the comm. "Can you hear me?" He slid the channel over to two-way. "I'm here, Sab. I made it. You've done it now. Come home, please." Alerts turned the cockpit red. Incoming fighters from the obliterated Pyranus Blade. He nodded for crosshairs to be generated by his ship's AI, and the targeting system appeared before him, matching the movement of his eyes. He brought Echo 5 around to face what was to come. "I will," Thomas said quietly, "but not just yet." Commotion on the comm. Sab and the others back at 7 had seen the fighters scrambling as well. Thomas muted it. He had to concentrate. He saw the fighters, 8 on each side of him, and between them came a larger ship, somewhere between a fighter and a shuttle. A familiar sigil flashed on the comm display, a sigil he himself had designed as a child, drawn over and over as though it had always needed to exist. He approved the hail and waited for the voice. "You never told them," came the sneer of the central ship's pilot, the craft framed by the total destruction of the Pyranus Blade behind them. "How could I?" Thomas said, attempting defiance but unable to deny the tremble in his tone. "It ends here for me and begins for you," rumbled the sinister response. "For one to live, the other has to die. The circle completes itself and balance is restored." Thomas balled his fists, thinking of Sab and the others. "How do I make it happen? I don't know how." The ship slowed, with the lead stopping before him and the others gathering round. No escape. He had destroyed the flagship and there would be no running this time. Their eyes locked across the small void between them. Thomas choked back tears, seeing his older self staring back at him, scarred and greyed and clad in the unmistakable uniform of the Supreme. The Supreme sat back in his cockpit and gestured to the ships around them. "It will happen the same way it has always happened, which is why we both know we're trapped in this cycle. I die, you are flung back in time 28 years and grow to become me, the Supreme, the man who toppled worlds. The devout rebel becomes that which he most hates." "I'll never become you," Thomas said, powering down his weapons. "Kill me! Wipe me out! You'll never exist! Or let me live, and I ensure that I'll never follow the path that leads to you." "You can't escape this loop, Thomas. Neither of us can." "We'll see about that." Thomas snarled and killed the comm channel. He swept his palms up over the throttle controls and Echo 5 hurtled past the Supreme ship. The leader's fighters blazed their energy weapons after the smaller ship as they gave chase. Not this time, Thomas thought. He aimed his agile ship directly at the mass of ruined machinery and erupting reactors that had been the Pyranus Blade. The fighters gave chase, yet two became brief fireballs as they collided with the unpredictable debris of their fallen ship. Thomas weaved his own through the barrage of metal and violently exploding cores, managing to take another fighter out by swiftly moving behind a bulkhead which was in motion, catching the fighter on one side and tearing it apart. The others had begun to match his evasive moves, opening up with cannons as they gave chase. They quickly had him surrounded again between two massive slabs of crackling bulkheads, and the Supreme ship followed. Once it was before him, Thomas saw all of their cannons power up. He had to break the cycle that had plagued his dreams since childhood and was coming true before him. Thomas reversed a cannon and fired directly into the bulkhead behind him. Weeks of study had paid off. The bulkhead split, revealing the unstable core of an engine behind it, tethered to a nearby engineering platform via a ragged umbilical of cables. A second shot detonated it, sending a column of searing energy exploding through the Supreme ship, annihilating it. As the core blossomed into a gigantic sphere of energies being released and warping space around him, Thomas punched the throttles and hurtled out of the debris field, the resultant shockwave wiping out the other fighters. Once he was at a safe distance, Thomas brought the Echo 5 to a stop, turning to see the glittering remnants of a ruined empire shimmer like tiny stars, the corona of the Pyranus Blade's destruction looking like an eclipse had been painted over space. "Sab," he called, pushing the comms to maximum. "I'm coming home. Do you hear me? I'm coming home." The message went unanswered, as did many more. His journey home passed in silence. As he finally neared the earth, he wept. Gone were the cities he knew. Gone were the towers and spires and squares he had lived to protect. Gone was Sab. Gone was his family. Gone was his time. "Sab, darling." Missiles rose from countries Thomas had never seen before, and Thomas let them. The circle was broken, and so was he.